I'm in my second year of consulting. I had an incredible first year, but year two is brutal. My revenue is piddly, and I'm wondering if I should give up and go back to a job.
Oh, tough one, right? So I think
Yeah.
we've talked about this. I think in the luck versus skill episode. It depends on the reason that the business is down. So a catastrophic drop like that, piddly from like best year ever to worst year ever, sounds like
Yeah.
that feels like, and with all the macroeconomic trends going on right now, that feels like a root cause. So I would be I would be tempted, if that is the case, I would be tempted to stick to my guns and figure out how to deal with the cash flow issue. Geez, cash flow's been coming up a lot lately.
Yeah.
Figure out how to deal with the cash flow issues while you wait for the pendulum to swing back. That is so easy for me to say and so hard to sit with as it's happening.
Mhm.
But but it is probably where I would lean. I think I talked in the luck versus skill episode about, this IPO lawyer, sort of high flying IPO lawyer sorry, CPA that had to do taxes last year because there were no IPOs. And he probably hated that and he probably didn't advertise it. He probably just got the work and quietly did it to make ends meet. And then when IPOs come back, it'll be like nothing ever changed. So that kind of feels like this situation. But if you did something in the intervening period, like changed something about your positioning, let's say, or like stopped posting on Instagram, and you used to get a lot of leads from it. I mean, maybe you did something that led to this precipitous drop, but that you would maybe rethink. Was there a decision that
Mhm.
you would make differently now, knowing what you know, and maybe revisit that decision with the new information? That's always a possibility. Like what did I change in the interim that could have led to this? And like me stopping writing books and stopping speaking at conferences, and then 18 months later, who knows exactly? I didn't wasn't paying attention. I stopped getting leads. What do you know? So that wasn't a market thing so much as a marketing thing. So it could be something about your marketing, but it
I should have
sounds.
said this, but this person is in a niche that's been hit by a market change
Oh,
this
okay.
year. So
So
that's some of it, but did you also notice it's like the second year of consulting? And that first year, I'm convinced is oftentimes our best year because, we're going out on our own. And this is somebody who's got, great expertise, great experience. Um, but yeah. And then year two, okay. So all those automatic referrals are kind of dropping off. And,
oh,
and that means you actually have to sell yourself, which
that's
is
interesting.
different than just saying, I shouldn't say just because you still have to close. When somebody gives you a referral, you still have to talk to them. You have to help figure out how you're going to help them. You've got to close that deal, but it's a lot different than going out and finding
Right.
your people,
Yeah,
bringing them back home.
the first year there can be a kind of halo effect, or not halo effect's the wrong term, but like low hanging fruit, where maybe there's just not as much low hanging fruit, but a precipitous drop. I feel like that would be a little bit of a gradual thing, but it is true. I do talk about this when freelancers first start. The worst year is the second one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's because that's when we go, "Oh, we're gonna have a business. We actually have to sell and market, and what does that look like? How do I wanna do that?" And usually, I mean, not always, but usually people in their first and second year of business in the expertise area haven't really done a lot of publishing yet, like a lot of writing or they're busy creating the business and figuring out what they wanna do. So it's kind of at that point when we start to think, oh, well, how do I want to do this? Do I want to do some sales stuff? Do I want to do some content marketing? Do I want to develop a point of view? Oh, maybe I want to niche differently or niche at all.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.